I have used the small Galaxy S24 for over a month, and I've been using the Galaxy S24 Ultra for about a week or so. There's a lot to like about the Ultra. After all, it is the best phone that Samsung has today, where it literally have all the top of the line specs. But here are 4 things I do not like about the Galaxy S24 Ultra. First thing is the price increase. Over the last few years, the Ultra model has been sitting at $1,200. This year, it got a $100 bump up to $1,300. Is it an upgrade? Yes, but I don't think it is $100 worth of upgrade compared to the previous years. So this makes the Ultra model $500 more than the Galaxy S24. But in my opinion, I feel like the small Galaxy S24 offers about 90% of what the Ultra model does for just basic usage. Second thing I don't like about the Ultra model is it feels so much bigger and bulkier and much harder to use with one hand compared to the base Galaxy S24. When the original Galaxy Note phone was first released, it was 5.3 inches and then it became 5.5, and at the time that was considered to be huge. Over the years it went to 5.7 for at least 4 years in a row, and then around the Galaxy Note 8 it starts creeping to 6.3 and then 6.4. And by the Galaxy Note 10, there were 2 variations, one at 6.3 and one at 6.8. For me personally, I have always liked the Galaxy Note series. It has always been Samsung best of the line phones. It has the highest specs. It was always a bigger phone, but it never felt uncomfortable to me. But once it started crossing over to the 6.3 and above range, it started feeling really big and cumbersome to hold, especially once it hits the 6.8. I'm glad Samsung stopped bumping it up any higher, because 6.8 is already uncomfortable enough for me. Of course, this is a personal opinion, but everything in perspective. So the Galaxy S24 base model is 6.2. So if you had this phone the last 10 years, it would be the size of the Note series if you really think about it. But these days, the Ultra model is 6.8, the base model is 6.2. I just personally prefer the base model. Having a bigger phone is nice to watch videos and play games, but if you're laying on your bed, you're using your phone, it might hurt more if you drop it on your face. Talking about real world problems here. There's sometimes I'm just laying in bed and occasionally the phone just might slip. Sometimes it hit your face, sometimes it doesn't. And if it's a lighter phone, it'll hurt less. Bigger phone, it'll hurt more. You may potentially break a nose or lose a tooth. These are all the things you gotta consider. So long story short, I don't really like the giant size of the Ultra phone. Smaller S24 is much easier to use with one hand. And before jumping into the rest of the reasons, just want to give a quick shout out to my partner Mint Mobile. Currently they offer a 5G plan for as low as $15 a month. You do get access to unlimited text, talk, and data. This is a limited time offer only, so make sure to check them out. Link in the description below. Okay, third reason I don't like about the Galaxy S24 Ultra is the slow charging by today's standards. They have 45 watt fast charging. This has been around for the last 4 or 5 years and it hasn't really changed in the Ultra model. And the charging brick is not included in the box, so kind of a shame there, especially when you look at OnePlus 12. That phone is $500 less, the same as the base model, and it comes in at 80 to 100 watt fast charging, and you get the brick included in the box. So Samsung is definitely slacking there by today's standard, just in terms of charging speed. Next thing I don't really like about the Ultra, it may be controversial, but I don't find all the AI features to be that useful. I know some people are gonna comment and say if it's not useful, then just don't use it. But at the end of the day, you're paying the big bucks for all these S series, and Samsung is making a big deal out of AI this and that. I just personally don't find it to be that helpful. For example, circle to search, you can get that on Pixel phones. That is $500 less or even more. I don't find myself to be using it that often. If I'm web surfing, there's never really many situation where I feel like I need to use circle to search, or if I even remember how to use it. And it's even harder to use if you have gestures. For some reason, every time I tap it, it's just, you gotta hit it perfectly just to activate the circle to search, or you can use your S Pen, but it's not a very easy process. If you have the navigation buttons at the bottom with the home button, the back, and the recent, it's much easier just to tap on the home button because it's bigger. But gestures get a little funky, and I have never quite mastered that. So that's circular search. Translation app, it works well in the Samsung messages, and also you have to use the Samsung keyboard. It does not work on Messenger, and that is the one situation where I would actually need it or even think about using it. I talked to my family in Vietnam, and it would be nice to have the translation feature built in. I mean, at the end of the day, I can just copy and paste it into Google Translate on the side. It's an extra step. But Samsung is pushing all these new features. It would have been nice to see it integrated into other apps instead of just Google Messages, where no one's really texting me in foreign languages in Google Messages. The summary notes features is nice as well. If you take a whole bunch of notes, they can put in a template for you. They can summarize all your notes together. But the one downside of that is there's no desktop mode available unless you have a Samsung computer. Kind of a shame. I feel like Samsung and Android, they should be more open and all talk to each other, more flexibility with Windows computers and things like that, but just having it locked onto the Samsung ecosystem is slightly annoying. I really wanted to give all these AI features a try, but at the same time, if I can only do it on the phone and I can't use it on a computer, since I don't have a Samsung computer, it is not as useful for me. So all these features are nice, but there's small limitations. It just makes it challenging to use. The one that I find to be the most useful is probably the AI wallpaper. I think it's cool. It's not life-changing, but every now and then when I want to change my wallpaper, I can use the AI prompt to change the different colors and themes. So pretty cool if you want to change up your wallpaper. Of course, you can always go on Google and find wallpaper, or there's a whole bunch of wallpaper apps out there that you can also utilize. But I find that whenever I use those, the resolution is never 100% perfect. So even if you find a cool looking wallpaper, sometimes it will be pixelated, or you can tell it's not high quality. And then you gotta use the resolution. If you have a 4K phone and you use a 720p wallpaper, it's gonna look choppy. So with the AI wallpaper, you get high quality wallpaper regardless of what you choose. So one less step there. So that's probably the most useful thing that I find Samsung offer for AI. But the rest of it, I don't think is really worth the extra $500 compared to the S24 model. Not to mention the Galaxy S24 base model does have all these AI features built in. So it's not specific to the Ultra phone. And the Ultra phone doesn't really offer any additional AI on top, except for, I guess with the S Pen, you can transcribe your handwriting. And also circular search might be a tad easier to use with the S Pen. So that's really the only small differentiator there. And it may sound like I'm bashing Samsung here in this video, but that's not the intent. The intent is to differentiate between the base model and the Ultra model. I'm a big Samsung fan, and overall the Ultra model does have a lot more features. It has a lot of things to like. It also costs a lot more as well. So with the Ultra, you're getting a bigger phone, you're getting Quad HD, you're getting faster charging compared to the base model, 45 watt versus 25 watt. You get more RAMs, you get premium titanium material, armored Gorilla Glass, you get a better camera system, 5x zoom, 10x zoom, 100x zoom. You also get the S Pen, so there's a lot to like, but whether or not it justify it being $500 more is debatable. I personally don't think it's worth the extra $500. But let me know what you guys think of the Galaxy S24 Ultra. If you have it today, let me know what your experience has been so far. If you have the base model, let me know if you prefer that instead. Appreciate the time as always. Please check out my last video where I talk about why the Ultra costs more than the base model. If you're interested in learning more about that, so remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.